We got some good news for the James Gunn DCU. Heading into the weekend, Superman and Peacemaker were both the #1 movie and #1 television show on HBO Max. Oh my god, I don't know what any of that stuff means, because if you don't give us tangible metrics, you can say that it's the #1 thing on your #1 service, but if that accounts for like 6 people watching a show and 8 people watching a movie, it doesn't really mean all that much, because when you start to get some tangible results, and in the case of Superman, like, all we can do is just point at the box office and go lol, Snyder Bros stay winning. You can take a look at Peacemaker, which this week, I guess on Thursday, the second season and probably final season is going to wrap up. And well, if we're in for such great fare like we got with this most recent episode, I mean, I don't know why people aren't watching this, because you're missing out on such great things. Like saying the Nazi world is just like the real world. Here's a 17-second clip.
If he's so awesome, why'd he move to Nazi world?
I didn't say he was smart. I'm sure he didn't even notice. Sad part is, I'm not so sure this Nazi world is as different from our own world as we wish it was.
Damn straight.
Wow, what great superhero stuff. And that costume looks like it's straight out of the early couple of minutes of the original Kick-Ass, but okay. As I am one of the millions and millions and millions of people who have never watched Peacemaker, maybe it makes sense in the context of this show, but looks like a real trash Power Rangers cosplay. But that's not all. That's not all. DCU's Peacemaker episode, Like a Thief in the Night, James Gunn mocks faith, equating love for Jesus Christ being a Nazi, because of course he does, because James Gunn, yeah, he's the kindness is the new punk rock guy, of course.
What the hell is up with this place? I just went on a walk and...
Nazis want World War II here.
Huh?
I've been reading all the history books on the bookshelf. You don't want to be a minority here. Or gay, or...
I just went on a walk outside. Everything's all nice outside. You don't want to be a minority. What the fuck are we doing?
Buddhist, or... anything I am, really. And also, Cheetos with an H on the end aren't nearly as good.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, him they love.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was wondering how the whole Christianity thing was going to get worked into that, and that one just, that just kind of took me out there for a second, so, oh, okay, cool. Good stuff, man. I don't know why this comedy show isn't taking off like that, because I've been making reference to this show for the past couple of weeks, mostly because it's just hilarious that there's an active DCU project, and after all of the astroturfing around Superman went on for all of those weeks, telling us how big of a success it was, domestic box office, nobody's talking about Peacemaker, and that's because nobody's watching Peacemaker. Its ratings are tanking. James Gunn's DC experiment is losing viewers and respect. But it's got a really cool Fortnite dance, guys. Trust us. James Gunn, yes, I might be calling fans racist, but it turns out audiences are calling him something else entirely. Irrelevant. Oh, yes, if you think it's bad right now, just wait until Supergirl comes out. And I thought I was being maybe a little bit hasty in saying, yeah, that movie's ceiling is probably $400 million. I will be shocked if it gets north of 3 at this point, because geez, man, this is tough. The new season of Peacemaker, once heralded as a bridge to Gunn's new DC universe, is flopping so hard in the ratings that it's not even charting on streaming. According to multiple reports, including data compiled by Nielsen and Samba TV, Peacemaker Season 2 is a non-factor on the streaming charts. Fucking oof. Okay, even lower than that incredibly awful, at least from what I've seen, spin-off of The Office, The Paper, Alien Earth. I mean, God, it has worse numbers than The Acolyte did. Holy fuck. Like, all of that shit sucks. Like, look at the stuff that's trending. Reality shows, boomer action shows like The Terminal List, and then Wednesday. That's fucking wild. Not a single episode of Peacemaker, has showed up at all. Jeez. Even Samba TV, which tracks viewership across millions of smart TVs, shows that the series is slipping fast, falling to number 16 among original streaming shows by episode 4. Ooh, it's a massive drop-off. Yeah, because, oh guys, don't worry, viewership is up 22% since the finale of season 1. It's great. When a show tied directly to your cinematic reboot can't even appear on the same charts as the Great British Baking Show, something has clearly gone wrong. Well, no, it can't even get into the same conversation as the Great British Baking Show, which is just what, how many different ways you can do beans on toast? But a fucking NCIS spinoff? Like, if this was, traditional TV ratings, that would be one thing, like NCIS, all of those different Chicago shows that are out there, like the millions and millions of people that on a nightly basis watch network TV. I would understand some of these other niche products perhaps falling by the wayside, but this is streaming, and HBO, when they get a hit show like House of the Dragon, hell, even The Last of Us, not season 2, but season 1, it would trend on these charts, but not Peacemaker, not by a long shot. Hollywood trades and entertainment blogs have been eager to describe Peacemaker as edgy, bold, and uncompromising. Yeah, by saying white people are Nazis. Ooh, wow, so fucking original. Gunn himself bragged in GQ that he had virtually no oversight from Warner Brothers. Yeah, saying he could do whatever I want. And I would imagine, like, if I was Warner Brothers taking a look at the reception and the response to this show, that's going to be the last time you're just going to have unbridled James Gunn. I can guarantee that one. Yeah, maybe that's the problem, because that's what people are starting to speculate at this point in time. Is James Gunn getting worse as a creative, or is he just simply getting more freedom? Because, well, I don't think I've seen any of his work. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I haven't watched at least the tentpole releases that he has. I haven't seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, but I know the first two, okay? And depending on who you are, at least the first one gets quite a bit of leeway, and for some people is their favorite, or at least the top 3 favorite Marvel films. That was when, James Gunn was very much getting established, and especially on bigger budget projects, but also working within the confines and in the structure of Marvel, hence why he could crank out something that is so beloved. But as he has gotten more freedom, just go ahead and simply gauge the quality of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Guardians 1, or even on the DC side of things, when he wasn't quite in control of everything, the Suicide Squad against Superman, and the difference is stark and noticeable. So yeah, who knows, maybe he's always been a hack, but maybe before he just had a filter where he could go ahead and hide some of his more destructive tendencies. Audiences didn't tune in for political commentary or heavy-handed messaging. They wanted superheroes, not lectures. Instead, Gunn filled Peacemaker Season 2 with bizarre moral parallels, linking Christianity to fascism, equating alternate Earth dictatorships with modern America, and turning once fun characters into mouthpieces for his own worldview. Yes, and having his wife fuck everybody on the show. Kind of a weird fetish you got there, James, but alright. What might have been quirky fun in Season 1 has now become political statement. Oh no, but also nobody watched Season 1 of Peacemaker, and apparently all of this shit that's in here in Season 2, well, it was still present in Season 1, it's just now it's been turned up to 11. But yes, circling all the way back around to Superman comic book news, okay, put it bluntly, the logic that Superman would feed Peacemaker simply doesn't add up. But yeah, Lex Luthor's, he's in a prison. Well, now he's in a reduced security prison because he's working with the federal government, and that makes sense. A guy who can create pocket universes, recreate the Big Bang, clone Superman, you would have him in a medium security prison where he can listen to 2 DC characters butt fuck each other. Okay, fantastic. Gunn's grand plan was that Superman would funnel audiences into his broader DC universe, starting with the continuation of Peacemaker. Instead, viewers didn't follow, or maybe they did, because you look at the box office of Superman, and it's the lowest performing Superman film to ever release in theaters. Maybe that's the problem. This was supposed to be a warm-up act for DC's future, but it could just simply end up announcing something totally different, that the DCU is in fact dead on arrival. And so we talked about this last week, but James Gunn told GQ in a recent interview, I have a few racists that have been calling me polarizing, but I'm okay with being polarizing and letting racists fall by the wayside. He's liking some of the attention that he's getting right now, and then after Peacemaker wraps up this week, I legitimately don't know what's coming out next for the DCU. It's probably some animated feature that'll get about as much attention, probably even less so than Creature Commandos did when it was releasing, the first thing released under the DCU umbrella. And when he goes back to irrelevance, oh boy, he's going to be spurging out even harder. And the already waning opinion of the DCU is going to fall even further, even faster. So yeah, can't wait for next year when you got Supergirl flopping, Clayface underperforming, but hey, all of that is really going to set up properly for Man of Tomorrow. Sure hope he got big plans for Lanterns, because holy crap, are we speedrunning the end of another DC franchise, and we have barely even gotten started. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.